aka Lesbian Goku on Instagram. Feel free to follow me, always be plugging. Thank you for being here with us. This is the Gotta Go Fast panel at Y2Kon this year. We have the only, Mr. Pete Capella. Everybody give him a huge round of applause. And then we've got me in about 5 years, the beautiful Jason Griffith up here as well. So, Pete, as you guys know, both of Sonic franchise fame, we have Silver, Sir Galahad, we have Jet the Hawk, Sonic, and Shadow as well. Guys, before we get going, is there anything that we would like to plug? Do we have any social medias? Do we have any streams that we would like to plug?
I think the most important thing is the Sonic Expo that's happening in November. November 11th and 12th in Dallas, so you don't have to drive to Allen.
Wait, who's gonna be there?
I think it's Pete Capella.
I've heard of him.
Jay Griff, this dude. Ryan Drummond, Lisa Ortiz, Mike Pollock. Who else do we have?
Who are we missing? Is that everybody?
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Bam.
Ryan Bartley.
Oh, Ryan Bartley, that's right. Yeah, Ryan Bartley as well.
Barrels of Barley.
John Johnson.
Oh, right, John St. John. Yes.
That's not announced yet.
Well, you heard it here first, and on my live.
If it leaks, we know it was one of you, okay?
Well, I'm also on my Instagram Live, so it's probably me.
So how we're gonna do this, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna form a line right here, because this is a Q&A panel, so I'm gonna go ahead, anybody who has a question, feel free to line up over here. I did tell you get first question, but just to get this started, Jason, a lot of us know you from Sonic X, and you played both Sonic and Shadow in that show. Did you find yourself, because they're rivals, did you find yourself, how did you find those two characters? When you voice both of them and they're rivals, did you kind of base one of those characters off of the other? Like, did you do any similarities between them, or what was your process for finding those characters?
So when I first auditioned for Sonic X, they were playing clips of Ryan Drummond, because they wanted someone to sound similar to him. They didn't want a voice match, but they didn't want something to be so completely different. So that's what that was based off of. When they showed me the picture of Shadow, that was the voice I used for that was based on a roommate that I had in Queens, New York, who just chain smoked and talked constantly, about a book he was writing always. And so I thought, if I kind of modify Carl's voice, I could turn him into Shadow.
Of course his name was Carl.
Of course. And Carl with a K. So yeah, that's I didn't base them off of each other, but that helped because that. I was able to differentiate and kind of switch back and forth pretty quickly between them because there were no true similarities.
And then Pete, same thing. You kind of went into this character from the beginning. This is almost an original character for you, if you'd say. So, what was your process, not having anything to base off of? Kind of like, how did you find Silver in yourself?
Carl. When I was at the 4Kids auditioning for something else. I was auditioning for Ninja Turtles, and I was walking out of the room, and they were like, "Hey Pete, you want to try this 14-year-old hedgehog?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And so what they told me was he was from the future. The future was awful, and he just had a chip on his shoulder, And so to me, he sounded like he was like an anime hero, because every anime hero has a chip on their shoulder, And so I tried to find the attitude that kid may have. And I also had a bratty little brother at the time, and that was partially based on him. So yeah, that's where some.
We love it. We're going to go ahead. Once again, guys, if we have any questions for these gentlemen, feel free to line up over here and we can ask them.
So this actually isn't my question, it's actually my friend's question, who's totally into Sonic.
Well, what's your name, first of all?
Oh, my name is Jennifer, and my friend's name is Jason. And so this is...
Dumb name.
We love the chain names, don't we? Chain name supremacy.
So this question is for Jason Griffith. So a lot of people have been pointing out that you and the other voice actors at 4Kids performances of it in both Sonic Unleashed and Sonic and the Black Knight, compared to how you, my phone turned off, compared to how you all started back in 2003 to 2005. Were there any changes in voice direction in both of those two games?
Yeah. So when I first started doing Sonic for Sonic X, he was very kind of nerdy and a little nasally like this, it's just like this. And I remember, I don't know if it was for those games in particular, or if it was anything right before that, but I remember one of the producers saying, we want to make him cooler. Right now what you're doing is great, but he's a little nerdier. So everything, it became, he's an action hero, and he has to have some power behind him, as opposed to being sort of passive and like, hey, it's Sonic. It's Sonic! So they really made that, help make that shift. And when they told me, like, I understood immediately. I was like, oh yeah, why have I not been doing this the whole time,
So like more of a cool shonen protagonist?
Exactly, yes, yeah. And so, and then I really feel like I nailed those performances for Unleashed and Black Knight, and then they fired me.
We will flood the inboxes of those who fired
They
you.
fired me too. They fired me too. Don't worry about it.
Well, fired is a strong word. Let go of gentle. Right.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right, my name is Tristan, and I actually have two questions, one for Jason and one for Pete. Starting with Jason, are you aware that in the Japanese version of Sonic X, Sonic actually swears?
Yes, I don't know exactly what he said, but I know that they scrubbed that for the 4Kids version because we were going out for kids on Saturday morning television. So that,
Yeah.
no swearing allowed.
But like, if you swore as Sonic,
Like, what would you say? What would it sound like?
Well, actually, does anyone remember Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes.
I've never. I think you're
Well,
making that up.
there was actually some swearing in that game.
Well, in the game, yes. Not on the show.
Yeah, Sonic himself ain't even swear. As much to the sadness of Eggman fans, Eggman did not swear in that game.
Right, yes, much to his credit.
And don't ask Mike Pollock to do swear words as Eggman.
He won't do it.
Exactly.
Right.
And as for Pete, when you recorded the infamous Sonic 06 line, "It's no use," did you ever think that line would become as big of a meme in the Sonic community as it did?
No, absolutely not. That was a throwaway line. So, at the time they were just like, yeah, you're gonna do a bunch of hit, ha, huh, and then one of them was, "It's no use," and I was like, I mean, I guess, like, that doesn't make sense. And so I just did the, "It's no use!" And it became the biggest thing, the biggest meme from 06. I still don't get it. Yeah, everything I say is funny. You'll learn that.
Thanks, buddy.
Alrighty, go ahead, come on up, tell us your name, and then ask us your question.
Hi, my name is Melinda. This question is for Pete.
Hi, Melinda, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So, despite all the controversy that surrounded 06, did it actually deter you away from Sonic games, or did you get more into the Sonic franchise after voicing Silver?
That's a great question. I'm an old man, so I would like to say I had Sega Genesis, but my first console was Atari 2600. Thank you. And so I always loved Sonic. It did not deter me. So for me, I was lucky enough to get to create a character, right? It was something that never existed before, and so I don't care that people didn't like the gameplay. I loved voicing that character, and it just got me more and more into the franchise. And here I am almost 20 years later, and you guys are filling up a panel room asking questions about it. So even though the gameplay wasn't what everybody wanted, it was still a great game, right? Thanks for your question.
Alrighty, name and question.
Hi, I'm Sandra, aka Chunky Pancake.
Oh, yeah. Your hair changed since the SonicCon, didn't it?
Yeah, I had a wig.
I thought you looked familiar.
So my question is for Jason. So I think a lot of people don't ask too much about Jet the Hawk. So I had a question about what was kind of your thought process, or what was maybe the direction that kind of conceived the voice for that character.
Yeah, well, see, that's a good question. Jet the Hawk is so similar to Usopp, the 4Kids version of Usopp that I did, that I knew that they were similar characters, but I knew there had to be a differentiation. They couldn't sound exactly the same. And so I just thought,
Usopp's just a little more like a clown, and he's kind of, free-flowing. Whatever was Jet, though, he had some gravel in his voice because he'd been flying everywhere.
So I thought, that's a good. I just thought he's got feathers in his throat. So yes, it's a little harder for him to speak, and he's a little more maniacal, a little less clownish. That's those weird thoughts and what kind of go through your head when you're doing these things.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Alright, my name's Kate, and my question's for Jason. Probably get this all the time, but from Shadow the Hedgehog, did you ever find that Chaos Emerald?
That damn fourth Chaos Emerald.
No, it has eluded me. I did find the 5th and 6th though, so weird.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson. It's a general question for both of you.
That's a great name, by the way. And a great mustache. Yeah, great mustache.
NASCAR, number 40 road. So I love vocal science and vocal health. So question just in the general sense of things. Do you guys have any vocal choral experience that led you to be able to adopt traits more easily into your characters?
Jason, go ahead. You go first. Well, so I learned early on you have to stay hydrated. That's number one. Of course, there's thieves oil. There's a lot of different supplements you can take. Speaking from the gut seems to help a lot. A lot of these characters, though, kind of require more of a closed throat. So those are the ones that, at the end of a 2 to 3, 4 hour session, you could be completely shredded. But I try to stay mindful of that because I know if I start the day off rough, it's not going to be a great ending. No real training per se, but sort of learning on the job experience, because you learn pretty early on, oh man, if I have to come back tomorrow and do this, I better do, real quick, I audition for things all the time, and sometimes I'll think, I hope I don't get this part, because I don't know if I can do what I just did in the audition every single day, So I try to be mindful of that, what are my capabilities, and what can I do easily that won't put too much strain on my voice, because even speaking for long periods of time will blow it out. I also do tongue twisters. Which wore which witch's wristwatch?
Yellow liniments on aluminum linoleum.
So when I recorded Silver for the first time, well, not the first line I ever recorded was I finally found him the endless trigger for E3, which was really cool. But then when I went in for my actual sessions, it was winter in New York, and I was sick as a dog. I was so incredibly sick. And Silver's voice is high in register, so I am speaking from my diaphragm, but I also have to have a little bit in here to kind of make him sound a little younger, because I'm old as hell. And so as I was living on tea and honey, and then I realized in the booth, hey man, you can't fake this. You can't just be coming from your nose and your throat. You really have to dig deep into your diaphragm. And so as I got older and realized, your voice is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, I trained myself. I do a lot. I love to play guitar and sing. I'm a karaoke fiend. And I also do a fully improvised musical every month. And so in order to do that, I'm okay, I have to train myself as a singer. And so I'm self-taught with a couple vocal lessons in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a great question.
Hi, I'm Christian.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
All right, it's nice to see you guys again.
Good to see you.
This is a question for actually both of you. For Jason, with I think it was about 2 years ago, and how Roger almost quit as Sonic the Hedgehog. If auditions went back out to be Sonic again, would you go back? And as for Pete, would you, if they need Silver again, if he became relevant after how Frontiers did, would you go back as Silver if he was needed in games again? How would you guys go about that?
Well, I think you could ask that question about any part. As actors, unless there's something we diametrically oppose about playing a character or a certain project, I think we would, jump at the chance to play any part. Sonic started everything for me. If it weren't for Sonic X, I wouldn't have a career today. Everything came from that. In fact, when I auditioned for Sonic, I thought I had just auditioned for Shaman King 2 weeks before, and I didn't get a call back. And when they called me in for Sonic, I was like, well, what's the chance that they're gonna, I'm gonna get Sonic if I didn't get to this other show I'd never heard of. But that being said, a lot of people ask, are you upset that you were recast? Do you want to come back or whatnot? And I try to be gentle with that question because there is someone playing him right now. There's a couple people playing him, 3 people playing him right now, and I know that I shouldn't be. It sucked at the time when I found out I wasn't going to do it anymore because I was really identifying with it, and I really felt like I nailed it at that point. But I'm not going to be so greedy as to say, I need more of that. I want it because it started everything for me. And I think if it can help other people in their careers, or move them forward, or move the character forward, more importantly, that's great. I think that's great. But yes, if they gave me sides to audition for right now, I would do it.
I think anyone would be crazy to say no to that. Like, can you come and redo this, iconic character? I think that would be nuts for anybody to turn that down. I'm in the same boat as Jason, where like Silver launched my career voiceover-wise, but then I focused more on film and TV when I moved out to Los Angeles in 2007, and I was booking TV and film stuff. And so there was a long time where I was like, I don't want to do this hedgehog thing anymore. Like, it's silly. It's a game. No one cares. And I couldn't have been more wrong, right? Like, you guys are here for that reason. There's a Sonic Expo. Like, I didn't realize how much it was in people's lexicon and how iconic these characters were. And I was being a jerk about it. Probably because it was even like, I was still working as Silver. I was living in LA. They were like calling me when I had games to record. And then right when I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna embrace this a little bit more, they let us all go. And I was like, oh, cool, great. But I think the Silver character specifically has so much more to offer. The storyline that, like, he comes back from a dystopian future to save that future. Now what happens? Like, now what? What's the future like now? I love the idea of this hero coming back, and so I would love the opportunity, especially like now that I have more life experience. I would love the idea of like bringing that to Silver. Mm-hmm. So hire us back, Sega.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Marco, and let me just say it's such a pleasure to meet you both in person at last. And my question goes out to Jason. I've read in BehindTheVoiceActors.com that your favorite Sonic game that you voiced Sonic in was Sonic Unleashed. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played it, but it's a great game.
It was literally my first Sonic game to complete, actually.
Oh, wow. For 2 reasons. Number one, for the aforementioned, that I finally figured, like, I think I've got a grasp on this voice and this character. But also, one of my absolute favorite video games growing up was a Sega CD game called Dracula Unleashed. And I was just so thrilled that I got to be in a game with Unleashed in the title. It made it as nerdy and as kind of crazy as that sounds, like, it really made a huge impact. I could not believe sort of the full circle from being 12 years old and playing Dracula Unleashed to actually being in Sonic Unleashed, both for Sega. Like, it was just mind-blowing how that happens.
And speaking of which, when it came to voicing Sonic in his Werehog form, where did you come up with the voice? I'm not sure how often you get asked that.
That was really on the spot. It wasn't, they didn't give me any time to like marinate and like figure it out. It was basically in the studio, here's a picture, here's a little, I think they had a little animatic at the time because the game wasn't completed yet. Give us some options. So basically what happens is you start giving options and then they say, all right, give a little more of this or a little more of this or a little less of this. and you keep refining it until they say, all right, I think we've landed on something, let's go with that. So that whole process was probably just trial and error in the booth that day, right before we recorded it. So that's a good thing to know. Like anything you hear Werehog as in the game, know that I just came up with that voice like a half hour before.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I follow you on both Facebook and Instagram, and I'm not sure how often you read the comments, but you're definitely my most favorite voice ever for both Sonic and
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're my favorite voice too, Jason, and your man bun looks great on my Instagram live.
Rat tail.
Alrighty, let's hear your name and your question. Also, guys, feel free to keep lining up. We've got a lot more time for questions, so keep them rolling in. Don't be afraid to stand up. These guys are being very gracious with their time with us today, so.
We'll answer anything very personal.
Yeah, anything about our personal lives, what we do on our off time.
Favorite sushi roll.
What is your shoe size?
12 and a half.
Good size. That's a good size.
Well, my name is Yaneli, and it's nice seeing you both. And this question's for both of you guys. What has been the most rewarding aspect of your time on Sonic, the Sonic franchise?
You guys. 100%. I know that's like a butt-kissing answer, but there is nothing cooler to me than being at these conventions and like getting to meet you guys and watching or listening to how you guys feel about it, or like how it affected you. When someone comes and says like Silver changed my life, there are multiple times at these conventions where if you see me turn around to face my banner, it's because I'm tearing up because how much I'm affected by you guys. So yeah. True story.
Yeah.
She doesn't care, dude. She walked away.
Okay. For me, when I first started voicing Sonic, it was 2003, and by 2004, I mean, the internet was sort of still in its infantile stage compared to now, so I couldn't, there were no I don't know, I don't believe there were a lot of forums about it and whatnot, but every now and then I would get a MySpace message from someone telling me how much they hated me, and just how I should go away, and how, I should have never replaced this person, couldn't, hold a candle to this person. And so 23-year-old Jason was devastated, thinking, well, I love doing the job, but I'm like, I guess nobody likes it. But I didn't realize that everybody who was 8, 9, 10 years old at the time, who wasn't on the internet, is now here in this room. And you guys, to hear people, like Pete said, to have people come up and tell you how much you meant to them, or tell you, like I had a woman at a convention tell me that my work in Sonic saved her from suicide. Like those are things that you just can't prepare yourself for, nor has it ever been expected. And so after this sort of recording of Sonic happened, there was just this lull where nothing, there wasn't anything Sonic related in my life. Once in a while I get a message or something, but I never even considered that there would be conventions and that people would want to see us, 20 years out, 15, 20 years later. And that's just, it's still so mind-blowing to me. I'm so grateful for it, but it's still such a mystery how it all happened, I never thought, I did a convention in 2010 with Pete in Dallas. Man, it was an actual hedgehog convention where there were actual hedgehogs running around on tables. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, nobody showed up. But there was one girl who came up to me yesterday and said, I was there, I was 14, and she showed me a picture, and she was just so excited, and things like that, things that never registered in my mind, like, oh, I'm going to meet someone that was at that convention, or all of that stuff. It's such a blessing. There's no other way to put it.
Hello, my name is Chris, and I have 2 questions. My first question is, respectively as Sonic and Sonic Shadow and Silver, which games have the shortest sessions and which games have the longest sessions?
Great question.
And my second question is for Jason. What other than Sonic was your funniest role to record when you were working on the 4Kids?
Well, the longest session was that's an easy question for me. It was 06. It was hundreds of pages of dialogue because there were hours of cutscenes, and it was I don't know about you. Jason and I only ran into each other once. And he doesn't even remember it because I'm very unmemorable. And it was, as I was coming into a session, he was leaving a session, they said, hey, can you guys record some background voices? And we were in the booth together recording background voices.
I have no recollection.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that guy is handsome now. I can't imagine what he's gonna look like 20 years later. And it's just only gotten better. It was a long time recording. And not only that, we weren't given a script beforehand, and you're usually not anyway, but we weren't given a script beforehand, so some of the times I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And like nobody said the ableist trigger is Sonic to me. They were just like, you're gonna say this line. I was like, wow, okay, great, what's an ableist and what's a trigger? I mean, I know what a trigger is. And then we also had, it was a director, and then a translator, and then multiple Japanese directors. And so everything took that much longer recording because everything had to be translated from Japanese, and then half the stuff was lost in translation. And we'd have to, I would do it and be like, that's not what we said at all. But I was like, I don't know. There's like somebody telling me. So it was very, it was a long process and an awesome process. And I think the shorter ones were like, for me, it was like Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, where I was just like,
Actually, I have a good story about the translators and whatnot. To answer your question, though, Shadow the Hedgehog was the longest for me, and that was also the first video game I ever worked on. But they brought the script in, and it was a phone book because there's so many cutscenes, so many options, so many different endings. I just remember weeks and weeks and weeks of recording that game, and it being the very first video game I was ever working on, I was so happy to be there. I was like, I can't believe my voice is going to be coming out of someone's television. It was just such a weird, just a really cool experience. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics was definitely the shortest. That was like 3 pages, in and out. One session, maybe half a session. However, I have to stand up to show you this. When we were recording, I want to say it was Unleashed. And the people from Sega from San Francisco had flown in. The Sega team from, are you all right?
I was just shifting my chair and then I was all, yeah, I think so.
And the people from Japan had flown in. And we had our director. And so when you're in the booth, unless someone hits the talkback button, you don't hear anything, but you can see them. So I would do a line. I don't know what line it was. It was, like, it's no use! And all I can, and it's actually I have to come down here and show you. So it's completely silent, but I'm in the booth, I do the line, and then I just see the man who flew in from Japan like this. And this is all I see. So then they push the talk back, he's like, he'd like you to do it faster. Those sort of things, I think what he was kind of illustrating there is why the sessions would be much longer, because there'd be like a chain of command. There'd be a chain of command. Sega, and then 4 kids, and then me. So it was a line, like a telephone line. Was there another question?
Yeah, other than Sonic and Shadow, what was your funniest role recording under 4 kids?
Man, that's a great question. I did a lot of incidental stuff for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like there was some funny stuff in there, like Goon A, like the dump truck, stuff like that.
Dump truck is still my favorite line.
Yeah. It's on a T-shirt somewhere. Dump truck. I'm gonna, you know what? It's so funny. I'll think of this as soon as this panel's over. I'll be like, oh, Chris, come back.
I'll do that.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
So I actually also have a quick question for you guys. We both talk about the dichotomy of doing hours of cutscene dialogue and then going into a studio for a little wow. So what's more draining on you, or like what do you have an easier time with, sitting through long dialogue or just the strain of action effects?
What's more? Sorry, what?
What drains you more? What's more of a task for you? Is hours of dialogue or going in for hours of grunting?
Yeah, that's a loaded question because I don't want to say that anything's draining because I love doing both. What I would prefer is the dialogue because I don't know that any of you guys know this because you shouldn't or don't need to. But Jason and I are both trained actors. We're both trained theater actors. I trained Jason, and I trained Jason. No, we're both trained theater actors. So like, any real actor is like, give me everything. I want it all. And the more emotion it has, and the more story it has, and the more I can bring to it, the more exciting it is for me. So I'm sure Jason will have the answer, but I don't want to answer for him. But like, I would much rather be in there with hours of dialogue than just making noises.
Yeah.
Because to me, and I say this in every panel where someone, and if you have this question, I'm sorry if I'm stealing the answer from you, but someone says, what do you want? How do I become a voice actor? And my first answer is always look at the second word in that title. It's voice actor. It's much harder than film and TV acting. You're bringing something to life with just your voice. You don't have the luxury of having the camera on you and expressing with your eyes. So take acting classes is always my thing, is to become an actor first, and then, it's not just making silly voices.
Yeah, because then it's going to be a lot easier on you too. I think when I first started, I was really intimidated by being in front of a microphone, especially in a booth with your headphones on. One of the first things I did was a Zit Cream commercial. And I just remember
Jump truck.
And so I remember they stopped the session and the producer came in and was like, "Hey, just so you know what you did in the audition? Yeah, could you do that here now?" And it was like terrifying for me because I was really I was so encapsulated by how I sounded and just trying to do something specifically with my voice, that I didn't realize, if I just add the acting to this, if I just have like a circumstance in my head or whatnot, then it's a lot easier. It made it so much, it took the pressure off of me to like actually, perform. But to answer your question, like Pete said, the dialogue is always so much more fun. But sometimes, like I just did a pretty big combat game, and what they'll ask for is like, give us 5 deaths. And make them escalate, a little death to a long, painful, drawn out, look at me death. It can be very challenging. And while it's all fun, of course, it's so much more fun to just do dialogue because, it feels like acting. Where the other thing feels like dying over and over.
Well, and those dying ones, like when you're doing stuff like that, that's the thing that's going to wreck your voice.
Yes.
Those are you stop paying attention to like your actual technique, and you're like, oh yeah, no, they need it louder, they need it grittier, and so I'm going to rip my throat apart for this one dumb thing that they're not even going to use.
Right. And when I did when we did Unleashed and I was doing the werehog, as many of you know, I had a really bad sore throat for weeks. In fact, I thought I had strep throat. I didn't. I think I was detoxing, but it felt like I had ground glass in my throat. And the one note I kept getting was, we need the werehog, we want to do like a 12-second werehog scream, 15-second werehog scream, an 8-second werehog scream, go bigger this time. And again, there's no time to say, can we do this next week when I'm not feeling like this? You do it right then and there. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges. But also I think it made my performance better because I thought I can't show them that I'm sick. I just have to push through this, so. 15 seconds.
And then, just for the sake of time, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this line here. These are going to be the last questions, and I am going to limit everybody to one question per ask, okay? Cool.
So my friend has both a request and a question. So he requests that Jason say Sonic's the name speeds my game in his Sonic voice from Smash Bros. Brawl.
Sonic's my name, speeds my game.
It's no use.
So along with that, so this is a question for both of you guys. So he asked, how's their experience with voicing their characters in crossover Smash Bros. And the Mario and Sonic at Olympic Series.
I would love to see Mario and Sonic at Olympus.
Zeus, we're here for you! That was neither Sonic nor Mario, that was Zeus, I think. I love doing those crossover games. They're just, like you get to bring, again, it's like, I know they're mostly just noises in those games, but like you're really finding who your character is when you're, like I did 7 games. So like game 1 was the longest one, and then I'm finding that character throughout these other like little games. But like, it's fun to, like, you know, thinking of Silver himself, like bringing his attitude to the Olympics, like it's super fun to be like, oh yeah, he's a jerk.
Yeah, I think similar. Yeah, I mean, the process is exactly the same. It's just different circumstances. So, you know, let's Sonic in the library. Thank you.
Dude, did your mustache get cooler on the way around the line?
A soul patch.
Maybe. So, I guess my other question I had forgotten when I was up here was, so when you have a character that like really like sets forth a big part of your life, it kind of it engrosses you into that character, and you also take that character's identity as a part of you in a way. So, what is it like with that core part of you feeling that like identity of a character to be in a position to witness fan creations that either try to accurately imitate you or overly caricaturize you? And what's your favorite?
Dude, you have such well thought out questions. I know. I'm so impressed. You go first. Please write a book. The fan art and the fan creation of it's unspeakably cool for people to say, hey, listen to me try to do your voice. And a lot of them are really good. There's a lot of people I'm like, I'm glad you weren't auditioning the same day I was. Seriously.
That's because they weren't born.
And just toddler. I mean, it's so, again, these are things that were never anticipated. And so when they happen, it's like, it's just so cool. I don't know if there's a better answer than that.
No, yeah, it really is like, for me, I actually like, at first I was like offended, you know what I mean? I was like, wait, they're not, and then I was like, wait a second, that's the loveliest tribute. And like, you know, what's the thing? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. And that is just such, and like, I befriended, like there's a guy who on Twitter, who is like very popular doing Silver, and he does it, and we're friends now. And I love that. I love that we have found a connection through a character that I created, blah, 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 years ago.
145.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Kennedy was president?
So you said I could ask anything.
Uh-oh.
I can be chaotic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bring the chaos.
The show chaotic? I was on that as well.
Oh, okay. Top Sonic couples.
I don't think they like that question. I think Sonic and Angelina Jolie. I'm gonna take that back. I would say Sonic and Candace Cameron, because I had a big crush on DJ Tanner, and I also went under the pseudonym DJ Tanner when I recorded Iron Man Extremes.
I also, it's implied in 2006 that Sonic and the Princess. So it should have been Sonic and Lacey Chabert. Remember? Party of Five? I mean, I don't know. Silver and Rachel Bilson from the OC, because when I recorded Silver, the OC was the most popular show on TV, and man, did I love Rachel Bilson. But I love Silver and Blaze would be a cute couple, right?
Yeah. Great. Amy and Bowser. Bad boy.
Hi again.
So I just
you give me a shadow line?
Where's that damn fourth chaos?
Where's that damn fourth chaos? I'm like meaner than you, dude. I like that alternate timeline.
Hello again. So,
Hi.
as we all know, in Sonic 06, Sonic died, and then was brought back to life when Princess Elise kissed him. Did y'all hear that earlier this year Sonic died again?
No.
Yes, with the visual novel game The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's an awesome
Yes,
No, I didn't. I wasn't aware.
I've heard rumors. And then isn't Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez going to solve that murder? Is that what's happening?
No.
Only murders in the building reference. Boom! It's like TV with like live actors, not animated people.
Yeah, but basically, it's a visual novel game that was officially endorsed by Sega and is available on Steam for free right now.
Wow.
Where it's basically just made by Sonic fan communities and is actually executive produced by the woman who runs the Sonic social media channels.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Who
Sonic
killed
died,
Sonic?
and there's
That's a great.
Who killed Sonic?
You'll have to play the game and find out. And
So we'll never know.
so Sonic died, and in the words of some comedy Johnny, there isn't an emotionally troubled princess there to give him a sloppy jalopy to wake his ass up.
That's just a car, right? That's just a car?
If Silver's around.
It sounds like that's his game. He's like, no, go download it and find it. He's shilling this game right now. We got two more.
Hey, man.
So, in the context of Sonic and Silver ordering a pizza, what would them debating whether or not pineapple should be on that pizza or not sound like?
That's a great question.
Well, we are in Hawaii.
Hey, look, Sonic, you know I'm originally from New Jersey. There's no way pineapple goes on pizza.
Okay. As long as the ham is vegan.
And the cheese. And the dough. Little did you know both Silver and Sonic are vegan.
Hooray!
Save the animals, everybody.
Extra sauce.
I just wanted to know what you guys thought about AI. Just curious, like, have you seen it started encroaching its way into your field and like scripts or background characters or anything like that?
I love this question. I love you for this question. You look awesome. This is I mean, I've already heard Silver say things that I never made Silver say. And I'm not talking about Bryce doing it either. I'm talking about fans plugging it into AI. As actors in Los Angeles, I mean, I'm SAG, I'm on strike.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah!
AI is very scary in the entertainment world. I think it's going to save us when it comes to medical things, when it comes to technology. I'm all about it. But it's like no one ever watched a sci-fi movie. Like, this shit's gonna kill us eventually. And soon. And so I don't think it belongs in the arts in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's regulated. That's my personal opinion. I'm glad you all agree with me.
And at my 2 cents, I have not heard an AI rendition of my Sonic voice or Shadow voice that even comes close to sounding like me. And that's not that's not a loaded ego thing.
How about my shadow voice? Did that come close?
And I would, not that I would like to, but every time I click, someone will send me a clip and they'll be like, we better listen to this. I'll be like, no.
Right. There are oftentimes, because Jason and I obviously audition for other voiceover stuff, and you'll get a scratch track of like, this is kind of what we want it to sound like. And lately, I've gotten multiple AI scratch tracks, and I'm like, you want it to sound not like a human being? Like, you can tell immediately that it's AI. So it's not. I'm not worried about it. It's just screw AI.
And then, Jason, I have somebody very special to me in the crowd today, and so as a personal favor, could I get you in your best Sonic Unleashed voice? Could I get a Emily's Gotta Go Fast from you?
Yeah. Emily's gotta go fast!
I love that.
Is that
score, dude?
Oh, enough to carry me through the week.
Great.
Alrighty. So you guys, once again, we very much appreciate you being with us. You said that we could check you guys out at Sonic Expo. Where is that and when is that?
Dallas, Texas, November 11th and 12th at the DWF.
DFW.
Is it the Marriott?
DFW.
DFW.
Dallas, Fort Worth, not Dallas Worth Fort.
Okay, so you can find Sonic Expo at the Hyatt Regency DFW International Airport. I think that's it. Make sure you turn tolls on, that you can go through tolls. That's the only way you're going to get to it. If you don't, you're going to get taken to the shadiest parking lot in the world, where you will find Jason and Pete doing live improv, but that's not. Yeah, so that's where you can go. If you want tickets, anybody who's in here right now, feel free to go to the website. If you haven't bought your ticket, you can get a 10% off with code Y2Kon. So.
And that code is Y2KON, right? It's Y2KON. No C in there. That's a common misconception. We want to give a huge shout out to these guys being here. Please go check these beautiful gentlemen out at their tables. Are you guys breaking, or are you going to be headed back to our tables after this?
Yeah, we're back. We love you. Thank you guys so much. Hey, you can follow Jason Griffith on all social media at.
I think I'm real I don't know, man. I know I'm JGriff4Real on Twitter X, and I think I'm real Jason Griffith on Instagram.
Well, I'm much easier. I'm just at Pete Capella across all social media because I have foresight.
Remember to support writers, screw AI. That was the point of this panel.
Yes.